Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is going to be a very casual video today talking about my February reading plans. I am not filming an official TBR for February, though these are some books that are on my TBR for the month. There are some arcs that I have to read, and I also have a secret project in the works, a themed reading vlog that I'm going to tease a little bit later. So that's going to be what we are talking about in this quick video, and if you have any guesses as to the theme of my secret reading vlog, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Let's see if anyone can guess right. February is also my birthday month. On the 19th, I will be turning 25, so it is nice to have a month where I can just, work on some vlogs that I'm excited about, read what I want without necessarily having to do a formal TBR. Because I love filming my TBR, but it's also nice to just have a month where I can make time for some ideas that I'm excited about. First, in February, I'm going to continue reading The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. This is a massive classic that has been on my TBR for years and years. I've been saying that I was going to read this book for like at least 3 years. I don't really know when exactly I added it to my TBR. I've just been continually putting it off because it is so long. So even though I had high hopes for this book, it scares me, and it took me a long time to finally say, okay, I'm gonna give this book a try. My mom and I are currently going to work through this together, just reading a little bit every day, hopefully. My hope is to have this massive tome completed by the end of February, but we'll see. I'm hoping that just, a little bit every day will get me there in the end. This is a classic that follows the character of Edmond Dantes. He is framed for being a Bonapartist traitor, and then many years later he returns to France, calling himself the Count of Monte Cristo to get revenge on the people who ruined his life. One of my favorite oddly specific tropes is someone going on an elaborate revenge mission. It's just a trope in fiction that I personally really, really like. So I do expect to enjoy this book. I've heard great things about it. I've just put it off for many years because it's big. It's a big book. Now let's talk about the two arcs that I have to read in the month of February. They are both historical mystery / historical thriller books. First, I'm going to be reading Murder by Lamplight. This is by Patrice McDonough, and it is going to be published by Kensington Books on February 20th. This is a Victorian historical mystery. I believe it takes place in the 1860s. Our main female character, Dr. Julia Lewis, has just come back to London. She went abroad to America because in America it is legal in this time period for women to study medicine, and in London she could not attend medical school. Upon her return to London, she ends up being involved in this murder case that is being worked on by Inspector Richard Tennant, and tentatively he ends up consulting Julia and her medical knowledge to solve this murder, which it appears may be the work of a serial killer. I believe there is meant to be a hint of a romance blooming between the two main characters, and the author has mentioned on Goodreads that the publisher has already expressed interest in 2 sequels for the book, so this is the first in a potential series, and I'm excited to check it out. I love a good romantic historical mystery, and I'm hoping this will be one that I will enjoy. The other advanced reader copy that I'm going to be reading in February is The Rumor Game by Thomas Mullen. This is going to be published by Minotaur Books on, I believe, February 27th. This is a historical thriller that takes place in Boston in the 1940s. It is following Devin, who is a FBI agent, and Anne, who is a reporter. He is one of the few Catholics working at the FBI in this period, and she is a columnist who wants to write about more serious issues than gossip. Now, Anne ends up investigating a story on Nazi propaganda that ends up intersecting with Devon's investigation into the death of a factory worker. So the two of them end up working together on this case. I am not a huge fan of World War II era books, infamously, but the concept of this one sounded really good to me, so I am excited to check it out, and I really am just a big fan of a lot of the books that Minotaur publishes, so I'm intrigued by this one. Now let's talk about the books that I'm going to read for my themed reading vlog. I'm planning to read 3 books for the vlog, though I'm not quite sure at the moment what the third is going to be. There was one book that I was thinking I was going to choose, and I just discovered that my library doesn't have a copy of it. I thought they did, but when I looked it up in the catalog, it popped up, but then said 0 copies. So I thought they had a copy, and it turns out they don't. I may switch it out for something else because I don't really want to buy the book. But anyways, so I'm going to tell you 2 of the books that are definitely going to be in the vlog, and then the third is to be determined. So let's see if, based on these 2 books, any of you have any ideas what the theme is. I think one of you guys can figure this out. I may have already given you a hint somewhere in this video. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So the first book that I'm going to read in that themed vlog is Murder on Astor Place by Victoria Thompson. This is the first Gaslight mystery, the first in a long-running historical mystery series that is now at, I think, like 25 books and counting or something like that. So when I first became a historical mystery girly, I was looking on YouTube for people telling me what series I should read, and this is a series that I saw people continually bring up as one of their personal favorites. The Goodreads description for this first book is kind of vague, so I don't know if I will be describing the plot in the best way possible, but I'll try my best. The 2 main characters in this series are Sarah, who is a midwife, and then Frank, who works for the police. It takes place in turn-of-the-century New York, so like the late 1800s, early 1900s. This first book sees Sarah and Frank working together for the first time because she is going to a boarding house to take care of a pregnant patient, and another resident of the boarding house has been murdered. So the 2 of them end up meeting and working together on this investigation. I've heard a lot of good things about this series. Like I said, when I was first looking for some historical mystery books to read, this is one that I saw was recommended constantly in people's videos. The thing is, I've been scared to start it because this series, like I said, has more than 20 books and is still ongoing. So that is a Herculean task. Granted, I'm not committing to reading all of the books. I'm just going to read this first one and we're going to see how it goes. I also am a bit scared because if you know me, you know that I love a good slow burn romance in my historical mystery. I love a sleuthing duo. I love our male investigator and our female investigator, like solving crimes and then, you know, kind of making eyes at each other over a corpse. I love that. However, I'm worried that the slow burn in this series is going to be a bit too slow because I distinctly remember when I was watching all these videos looking for recommendations, somebody in their video said, "Oh, I'm on this book and the romance is just starting to heat up." And I looked up what book in the series that was, and it was number 15. 15 books for the romance to start heating up? I love a slow burn, but that's like a simmer. That's a long... Imagine reading these books in real time, where you can only read 1 per year. I would get so frustrated. So we'll see how it goes. You know, I've heard lots of positive things. I've heard a lot of people say this is one of their favorite historical mystery series. I just might combust if it takes that long for them to kiss. Like, come on. I love a slow burn, but 15 books is too slow. That's too slow for me. Then the other book that I'm definitely going to read for this secret vlog is The Unexpected Guest. Now, this is a book that is based off a play by Agatha Christie, but it was adapted as a novel by Charles Osborne. This book is obviously a murder mystery, and it deals with this stranger who he's driving, and I think his car gets stranded. So he goes to a nearby house in South Wales looking for help, and he discovers this woman named Laura Warwick, who is standing over the dead body of her husband holding a gun. So did she actually murder her husband, or is she covering for someone else? I suspect she's covering for someone else, because if it was that straightforward, we would not have a very long story here. Now, I am kind of apprehensive about reading an Agatha Christie adaptation written by somebody else. That does scare me a little bit, but I want to check it out for this vlog and see, because obviously some of these plays by Agatha Christie, like The Unexpected Guest, it would be very hard for me to get my hands on a copy of the actual play and read it. This is another book for this secret vlog, so try to see if you can figure out what The Unexpected Guest and Murder on Astor Place have in common. Now, here is another thing to think about when you place your guesses. The third book for this vlog, while I'm not quite sure what it's going to be yet, I know it is not going to be a murder mystery. So let me see what you think. I would really like to hear some guesses. I feel like one of you can figure this out. I think somebody can get it. It's definitely possible to figure out. I'm not tricking you or anything. So those are my February reading plans as of now. I still have to decide on the third book for that vlog, so stay tuned to see what it will be. If I do manage to get through all of these books and I still have time, I might just add some mood reads to the February TBR. I was about to say I've been in a murdery mood. I've been in a mood to read murder mysteries, so I might tackle some more murder mystery reads in the month of February. That just sounded wrong. I'm so glad I unplugged my Alexa, because I feel like some of the things that I say would sound very bad out of context. So that's it for my February TBR. Scrabble TBR game will be back for the month of March, so if you're missing that game this month, I'm sorry. I just really need to get my arcs read, and I am very excited for this secret vlog idea I came up with. I am excited for it. I hope you will enjoy it. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. My social media links are in the description if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Let me know in the comments section what you plan to read in the month of February. I think that just about covers it. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an exceptional rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you next time.